Good morning. This is Mr. Nam, and I'm going to be going over today your first assignment in case you were unable to miss class. So this is the assignment for 7th grade science for Monday, September 14th. And today we're going to be covering observations and inferences. In Google Classroom, you are going to have, when this loads, in Google Classroom, you're going to have an assignment called Observations and Inferences. The PowerPoint is what we use for our synchronous during our live session. During this time, you are actually going to be filling in this PowerPoint as we go through the lesson. But in case you missed it, I'm going to walk you through it so you're still able to complete the PowerPoint and submit that and get credit for the live class. Okay. So your do not for this morning, before I even go over the do not first, anytime you see a blue box, that means you need to type an answer in that box. That's a way to show me that you engaged in the work and that you completed what you needed to get done. Okay. But based on your assignment from Friday, for the do now today, I want you to summarize what science is to you in 2 sentences. You had this assignment on Friday about the what is science PowerPoint, but for today, what I want you to do is complete the do now to answer. How would you summarize science? Right? Feel free to pause this video while you work on that on your own PowerPoint, but I'm going to continue to go as if you just finished it. Okay? Your learning target for today would be to correctly identify different statements about observations and inferences. The good news is you probably learned already about observations and inferences, but as we head into 7th grade, our observations and inferences are going to become a lot more detailed. I'm going to require a lot more depth and details in those observations and inferences. So today's lesson is for me to tell you and teach you what exactly I'm looking for within those statements. So the first thing we're going to do before we even dive into creating observations or inferences is I want you to refresh on what they are. Okay, tackle this again. And so technically what we did in class was you worked in small groups. You did breakout rooms. But if you missed class today for whatever reason, that means you are doing this independently. So if I click on this link, what this is going to open is a page that kind of explains what the difference is between observing and inferring. Okay. As you can see on this website, it has different explanations for the 2 different types of statements and also how we come about with those statements. Okay. And I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. Your responsibility, okay, is on the next slide. You are going to put in your own words what the difference is between an observation and an inference. Okay. This is the next slide that pops up on your PowerPoint. In each of these blue boxes, what you are going to do is you are going to type what is an observation and an inference in your own words based on what you read on the document that I just explained previously. Once you are done with that, we did go into new breakout rooms, but on the next slide, once you have those definitions of an observation and an inference, I'm going to ask you to write 3 different observations and inferences, one for each of these images that are going to show up on the next slides. As you can see, I'm not giving you the definition of these 2 terms because I want you to construct these on your own. Okay. If you missed class, unfortunately, what we did do is we worked in groups to come up with these, but you'll be doing these independently on your own. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next slide to show you exactly what I'm looking for. So this is the first image that I give you. I'm not going to tell you the context of it. I'm not going to tell you what exactly it is at all. I'm going to let you just make an observation on your own and make an inference on your own. Okay, you know the basics of what an observation and an inference entail. So use that as you come up with your observation and inference for this first image. And then if you keep scrolling, there's 2 more slides. Okay, this is the second image, and this is the third image. All you are doing for each slide is coming up with 1 observation and 1 inference. Okay. Once you are done with that, okay, you have your asynchronous assignment that is also linked in Google Classroom. So your asynchronous assignment is called the Homeschool Connection. We are doing this across all 3 grades of science for today. So 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are all getting it. But what this assignment is asking you to do is to interview someone in your household and record their answers to those questions. This is also due tonight at midnight. So I'm going to go to the asynchronous assignment so you can see it. So when you get into this document in Google Classroom, you are interviewing anybody you want. It can be a parent, grandparent, a family friend, a community member, older cousin, whoever you want. Please keep in mind, obviously, I'm not asking you to go to see someone physically if you don't already live with them. Just I want you to keep social distancing guidelines in mind when you do this interview. It can be done over the phone, however you want to do it. Please note that you can also write your answers in any language. I'll worry about the translation if need be. I want you to write in your native and first language. Okay. So there's 3 different levels of questions. There's level 1, level 2, and level 3. All right. And what you're going to do on the second page, as you can see, an example, the student that they put on here that Mr. Murphy put was Bob Marley. So this is an example of how you would fill this in. Okay. So for the level 1, 2, and 3, you are just going to pick one of those, one question from each level, and just answer those questions. Okay. Once you have completed those answers, please write in complete sentences, submit it, and then you are done for today. Okay. If you're watching this and you missed class, we hope to see you tomorrow at class. If not, I'll have another video up so you can keep up and see tomorrow's lesson as well on this YouTube channel. If you have any questions, like always, please reach out to me. You know my email address, and you have your Google Classroom. So if you need any help, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, bye.